The views on a Breath of Fresh Air podcast reflects the parties involved, and we encourage you all to use it as a conversational tool that will lead to personal studies of your own.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Welcome to a Breath of Fresh Air podcast. Here with your hosts, Earl Roberts and Nakhaz Gay. As a young person, Christianity can be so foggy, like smoke in the mirrors and so unclear. But we're here to bring you a breath of fresh air. Pharaoh, this is what the Lord, the God of Israel says. Let my people go, so that they may hold a festival to me in the wilderness.
First of all, who is the Lord that I should obey him? I never heard of this Lord before. Counselor, you know who the Lord is?
I have no clue, Pharaoh.
But let me tell you this. Listen to me good. I do not know the Lord, nor will I let Israel go.
Pharaoh, the God of the Hebrews has met with us. Now let us take 3 days' journey to go into the wilderness to offer our sacrifices to the Lord, our God. Or he may strike us down with plagues or with the sword.
Moses and Aaron, why do you take the people from their work? You all need to go back to your labor. Order! I've gathered you all here for an important matter. A lot will change. Taskmaster, you are my chief executive, and I need you to make sure this happens. So from today on, you will no longer supply straw for the bricks.
No more straw for the bricks? This is insane.
But Pharaoh, how will they make their bricks with no straw?
Because they will have to provide their own straw for the bricks.
That's impossible. They'll never be able to.
Order! However, I am trusting you with this assignment. And you, as well as your workers, must make sure that they still provide the same amount of bricks per day.
He's gone mad. Mad, I tell you.
Do you understand my commands?
Yes, I do, Pharaoh.
Moses, who was once reluctant, was now on his way to Egypt after an encounter with God at the burning bush. Moses' aim was to ask Pharaoh to let the Israelites go to worship God. However, Pharaoh was not too fond of this idea. In this episode, we explore Exodus chapters 4 through 7 and delve into Moses' return to Egypt. Welcome back to A Breath of Fresh Air. And something I was just thinking about. I was talking to my cousin the other day, and she was telling me that we need a name for our audience. So I'm drawing up blanks, so I'm willing to take suggestions. Email us, comment below what you think you should be called. Some nominations were like the Breathers or something, but that just sounded kind of weird.
Breathers.
But so last week we ended in Exodus. We ended in Exodus 4 verse 17. And it was so powerful because we see in the book of names, Exodus, God said his name is I am. The God who is, who will ever be, who there is no equivalent for him. And then we see how Moses was going after excuse, and then he simply said, you know what, God, just send someone else. I'm not eloquent enough to go to Egypt. And God said, Moses, okay, I'm done with your excuses. I'm sending your brother with you. Your brother will speak. I will give both you guys the strength to speak, and then you will still take your staff because you will still be the one performing the signs. But, so now we're picking up in this episode from Exodus 4, verse 18. And now we see after this, now it's time for Moses to go to Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
Anything?
No.
Okay. So now we see in Exodus 4:18, then Moses went back to Jethro, his father-in-law, and said to him, let me return to my own people in Egypt to see if any of them are still alive. And I'm like, bro, where they go? You think Pharaoh killed all of them?
I know what Moses doing.
Jethro said, go, I wish you well. Okay, toodaloo, bye-bye.
Yeah.
Now the Lord had said to Moses and Midian, go back to Egypt, for all those who wanted to kill you are dead. So Moses took his wife and his sons, put them on a donkey, and started back to Egypt. And he took the staff of God in his hand. The Lord said to Moses, when you return to Egypt, you shall perform before Pharaoh all the wonders that I have given to you to do. And just those wonders we see last episode, when Moses threw his staff on the ground, that the staff turned into a snake. Moses ran away from it. God said, hold on, just take it back up by the tail and return to a staff. Moses did that. Then he also put his hand in his cloak. When he put his hand in his cloak, he drew it out and it became leprous, white as snow. And God said, okay, put it back into your cloak. And as Moses put it back into his cloak and he pulled it back out, it returned back to his flesh. So his hand was divinely healed.
And so it definitely wasn't magic. We can see some magic though.
We can see some magic soon. But now, and then God said, and Moses said, if this isn't enough, God said, go to the Nile River, pour out some water. And when you pour it out on the dry ground, the water will turn into blood. So these are the sign and wonders that God was talking about. And then, where am I picking up from?
Verse 21. Yeah,
verse 21 still. But I will harden his heart so that he will not let the people go.
So now this is a very, very interesting thing that's going on, because this goes back to last week when I was saying that some people feel like we predestined for this and that. But like literally, it's like God has already, and I'm so glad for this. God has already identified how hard it would have been to change Pharaoh's mind and the things he would have to go through for you to change his mind. And at the same time, God, in hardening his heart, he's giving Pharaoh up to his true desires. You understand what I'm saying? And like, so essentially it's just like, I'm just going to magnify or amplify what this guy is seriously feeling in order for the truth to be shown from him. Because sometimes you could lie. Sometimes you could kind of just give in. Like, it's like me with the calculator analogy, what I was saying. Like, and it's like Moses too. Like, Moses showed what he sincerely felt after a while, but he could have suppressed that. But at the same time, God saying, no, I about to harden his heart so that we could see just off rip what Pharaoh seriously feel. Now think about this. Hardening someone's heart, it might make you feel like he's saying, I am making your heart turn hard. No. Hardening your heart is saying, I am freezing your heart the exact way it is.
And then, because that's the next thing I want to point out too. Like if we read on in the Bible, in Exodus 4, as we're in now, it says God hardens Pharaoh's heart. In Exodus, 7, it just says Pharaoh's heart was hardened. It doesn't say who hardened his heart at all. Then in Exodus 8, it's just like Pharaoh's hardened his own heart. So now the point is, we were saying, it wasn't like, we never see any instance where Pharaoh's like, okay, I'm going to let them go. And he was like, oh no, I can't let them go because God already hardened my heart. Nah, like Pharaoh was fully locked in saying, bro, I'm not letting these people go no matter what. And we even going to get into how Pharaoh carried on when Moses came back, like what Pharaoh did. So Pharaoh had never any intention of letting them go.
True. And at the same time, God didn't want him to actually even try to deceive people into thinking that was the thing. So he's like, bro, I am going to give you away to your own desires. Because at the same time, even though you're not doing things for God, God still shows mercy on you. You understand? So God, this whole time, God was giving Pharaoh a way out. You understand?
And to me, that's almost like the true essence of hardening your heart. Is saying that, okay, I'm not changing what you think. I'm just almost withholding like some of that mercy that I usually extend to you. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like the hardening is saying, okay, I extend grace and mercy to everybody. Since you want to do what you want to do, I'm giving you over to your desires. Now the mercy aspect that I'm usually doing, you no longer have any access to that.
Exactly. And back to the thing. God knows our heart. Like, you understand? We don't know our heart. That's how I sincerely feel. Like I've seen a lot of people in the Bible, righteous people, consider themselves like unchrist-like, and you know what I'm saying, like, and just dependent on God, because my heart is not pure. Like we are tainted by sin. This in our DNA. You understand what I'm saying? And so yeah, we can harden our own hearts. We can become stiff-necked. You got something you want to say?
No, man. Just keep on. I just reading on. I want to get to something else, but keep going. Keep going.
We can become stiff-necked on our own, but at the same time, God can just isolate us and freeze us in the way we think now. Oh, that's how you feel, and you show me that's what you want to do. All right, cool. I gotta allow you to continue doing that.
And then picking up in verse 22, then say to Pharaoh, this is what the Lord says: Israel is my firstborn. And I told you, let my son go so he may worship me. But you refuse to let him go, so I will kill your firstborn.
And God was telling Moses to tell him this from jump.
From the very beginning, before he even set foot in Egypt.
All right, so now watch this. Whenever I think about Moses and his relationship with Pharaoh or his interactions with Pharaoh, I always think this just a blanket. How I think about it. Let my people go. No, I will not let your people go. Let my people go. No, I will not let my people. Okay, we're gonna give you plagues. Plagues happen. Let my people go. Pharaoh thinks about it. No, I'm not letting you go. More plagues. And then later on, son is killed. No, God is telling him from rip, say to Pharaoh, bro, this is my firstborn son who you holding captive, bro. I want my son to worship me. And I feel like that's powerful because now God is, just like, think about this, bro. Like, my mom is a loving, humble lady. Like, I kid you not. My mom is not in the way. She ain't boisterous. None of that. My mom is chilling. That's how I always describe my mom, right?
No cap, this is an accurate description.
My mom chills all the time. But my entire life, I have felt uncomfortable and embarrassed at the lengths my mom would go to defend her children. And not to say she go crazy, but I remember one time somebody skipped my sister in the line. It was a grown mom. My sister was like 9 years old. My mom was in the car. She come through and she stood up for my sister like, no, you're not gonna take advantage of my daughter just because this is a young girl. What you think this is? And now as an adult, I value that so much. And this stuff that I mentally prepare myself to have to do for my children. I don't, bro, like, you people know me, bro. They know, like, when I'm very upset and I turn up. Like, I have a temper, you understand? But I try my best not to be like that. I try to chill. But I know, I tell myself all the time, bro, it's going to be times when you're going to have to take up for your son or you're going to have to stand up for something you believe in. And so you're going to have to assert yourself, you know? And so I look at God and that's what God doing. God, that remind me of my mom. Like, when she would stand up for us, like, that's an empowering feeling, especially when you're in the right. God saying, bro, this is my son, bro. What? Go to Pharaoh and tell him, bro, you abusing my son. You skipping my son in the line. You understand what I'm saying? And so listen to me. If you don't let him go to worship me, I am going to kill your son. You know? And so like that, like, to me, that's, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain this, bro. Like, it's like, you know, like how they say rich people, they say, oh, my father, wait till my father hears about this type of situation, right? And like, that's essentially how I feel right here. Like, you have this level of security that you can tap into. And we see God flexing his muscles and he's telling him, bro, listen to me. This is my son, bro. And we are his children, like, and that's the type of confidence we should have in God. That God, I am your son. And I see what you do for your son before. You know what I mean? So that's the type of confidence we can move through in God, knowing what he does for his children.
And so now in verse 24, there's a little interesting story that starts to take place. So in Exodus 4:24, I'll just read it. At a lodging a place away, the Lord met Moses and he was about to kill him. So we go through do all this and God said, hold on. Something's not right here. So the Lord met Moses and was about to kill him. But Zipporah, his wife, took a flint knife, cut off her son's foreskin, and touched Moses' feet with it. Surely you are the bridegroom of blood to me, she said. So the Lord let him live. At the time, she said bridegroom of blood, referring to circumcision. It's interesting how you could see that part got added afterwards.
Yeah, that's commentary. And that's my thing with the NIV. They have commentary there, and I just be like, I don't want your commentary, right? But I mean, it's helpful sometimes, but all right. But back to the point. This is very interesting to me because, like, this is the second time we see God was seriously upset with Moses. But now think about this, bro. This one thing that we shouldn't overlook. When God say do something, bro, this ain't a playful thing he's saying to do. You understand what I'm saying? You about to go. Here it is. God needs everything. We need you to be as connected to me as possible. We about to fight. We about to wrestle against all type of. You about to go into a valley where it's all type of paganism. It's all type of demonic stuff that's going to be happening. We're going to see that really quick when the magic come around, right? Bro, we can't have anybody with their guard down. Bro, I literally put a covenant in place hundreds of years ago. And at the very least, you couldn't have withhold this covenant. Bro, you making me look bad. Because literally, your guard down, so when something happen to your son, you can look at me like, I do something wrong. You understand? Or you can look at me like, I ain't protecting you. And this upset me because, bro, at very minimum, you already commune with God. You was already raised like this. What's the reason your son isn't circumcised? What's the reason why you would prefer to live like the people that are not Hebrews, opposed to living like Hebrews if you serving the Hebrew God? What, like, at what point in time you didn't realize that this is something I should do? And it's to the point where God got so upset. It didn't say what God did, but it was to the point where the wife, Zipporah, his wife, had to hurry up circumcise him immediately, just to save Moses' life. And one thing I want to say is, like, this was the guy who God chose.
Just chose.
He just chose you. He just chose you to set his people free. But he's about to kill you. Why? Because you are being disobedient. God is not a respecter of persons. At the end of the day, God calls us to be obedient. That's just it. And like, this is just a simple thing to some people. But you know what else is a simple thing, bro? The Sabbath, bro. I ain't even gonna lie to you. The Sabbath is a simple thing. So it's just a day. And that's what people tell me. It's just a day. Like, we can worship on any day. But that's not what God say. You understand? But it's a time. We called to be obedient. You understand? Like, it ain't a time when you have to, I could do however I feel. I feel like we could pick any day. But God literally wrote this with his own hands. He didn't say pick any day. He said pick the seventh day to keep holy. You can worship on any day. You can do whatever you want to do on any day, but the day that is the holy day is this day. It's the same thing when it comes to marriage. It's the same thing when it comes to bearing false witness. When it, like, all of the laws and abominations and stuff that God put in place, bro. God asks us. It's things that God physically wrote in the Bible, and He's asking us to be obedient too. You understand? So it ain't a time where you could just pick and choose. We see where and God ain't selective with this neither. Like, it's one size fits all, bro. Whether you use my prophet, whether you use the person who's supposed to lead the pack, the person who is physically spoke to, or not, bro, you are called to obedience. Nobody gets a pass. And later on, we can see that with Moses' life his final outcome in terms of the promised land. We can see where, bro, God ain't to see no favoritism.
Moses, David, they all had that same end result.
And then think about it too, though, bro. At the end of the day, your leaders supposed to be, out of all people, your leaders should be the ones who being obedient for sure, because you are setting an example. Bro, come on now. We about to have a serious war. There's a war about to happen, like a spiritual warfare we about to go in, and y'all ain't doing the bare minimum. Your son, I ain't asking your son to go and speak to nobody. And your son ain't even in his control to do that or not. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, I felt like this was just very interesting, but like how we believe there's nothing in the Bible by chance, bro, I feel like these things don't happen by chance either.
Nope.
God was seriously upset to the point of killing Moses for a reason. You understand what I'm saying?
And now we see in verse 27, the Lord said to Aaron, "Go into the wilderness to meet Moses." So he went and met him out in the mountain of God and kissed him. And Moses told Aaron all the words the Lord had sent him, all the signs which he had commanded him. And then Moses and Aaron went and gathered together all the elders of the children of Israel. And Aaron spoke all the words which the Lord had spoken to Moses, and he did the signs in the sight of the people. So the people believed. And when they heard the Lord had visited the children of Israel and that he had looked on their affliction, then they bowed their heads and worshiped.
So let me ask you this. Verse 30, and Aaron told them everything the Lord had said to Moses. He also performed the signs before them. This is still talking to the elders, right? Before the people, because it says the people.
Yeah, they branded themselves to the Israelites.
Okay, so at this point, before they go to Pharaoh, right? We know that Moses, Aaron, and the elders were privy to everything that God had told to Moses. Because it's in the very next chapter, we're going to see where the civilians, their fate is tested. You understand what I'm saying? Because I just wanted to make sure this was only the elders who knew this. Because the civilians, they're going to be wondering, why are y'all doing this? You understand what I say? Like,
and so now we're beginning Exodus 5. Afterwards, Moses and Aaron, after they met with the elders, they went in and told Pharaoh, Thus says the Lord God of Israel, let my people go. That's like the most famous line I feel from Moses.
yeah,
bro.
definitely.
Let my people go.
That's a line used in pop culture too. Like you can see that on a sitcom randomly. Like people talk about, like every time people think about Moses, that's probably the most iconic thing they remember from Moses.
They didn't even say the full thing. So that they may hold a feast to me in the wilderness. No, they just say, let my people go, man. Like I have a colleague. Actually, I ain't even gonna say that. We just gonna cut that part out.
Yeah. But let my people go so that they may hold a feast to me in the wilderness. That's interesting.
And Pharaoh said, who is the Lord that I should obey his voice to let Israel go?
Brazen.
I do not know the Lord, nor will I let Israel go. Now, just even going back to show, Pharaoh unprovoked. First things out of his mouth. Who is God?
Who this guy is?
Who is God?
I don't know him.
Who is him that I should even let obey his voice?
These pharaohs don't know their history. You understand?
You say, I don't know him.
Because if y'all knew the history, you know when Pharaoh, the first Pharaoh that met with Abraham, he had plagues. See, like people don't understand, but this God, the Most High God, he's not hesitant to put plagues on Egypt. You understand what I'm saying?
No.
And this wouldn't be the first time.
No.
You understand? So that's number one. The second Pharaoh that I know of, it's probably more pharaohs in between in Genesis, but the Pharaoh in Joseph's time, he respected the Most High God. He didn't obstruct the Most High God at all. The Most High God came to him in a dream. You understand? Not in a dream, but he gave him a dream, which troubled him, and he did not get in the way. You know, he was in alliance with the will of God. He was in line with the will of God. But this guy, he probably didn't read his history books. Even the Pharaoh before him did not read, because that guy didn't know Joseph.
No.
You understand? This Pharaoh don't know who's the Lord. Who is the Lord that I should obey him and let Israel go? That's crazy. Like that's the thing with power. That's why Jesus said easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to make it into heaven, because it come a point in time when you rich, bro, you become the master of your own destiny and you cut God out of the equation. I don't look at God. I don't look at no God to tell me what to do. I get all of this because of me. This like self-glorification type of situation. So when you have somebody who's speaking in the name of the real God, you're like, who is that? I don't care. I never had to run into them.
Never had to run. And man, like I'm just even thinking, so I'm like looking, I'm going back between 4 and 5, and it's just interesting that, or 3 and 5, but just interesting, like, okay, so it's so interesting. So in the book of names, right? We see Moses asks, who are you? And then we see Pharaoh asking the same thing. It's almost even shown that, hey, like right now, Moses and Mary right now is even the focal point. In the book of names, do you know who really is God? Like, who is the most important one right now? God. But now we see, picking up in 5:3. So they said, the God of the Hebrews has sent us to meet with us. You see, they even wasted time saying who God is. You see the I am we already see that ain't going to be relevant to you. We already see where your heart is. You already revealed what's on your heart. We don't see anything, but Jesus say, anyway, please let us go 3 days to journey into the desert and sacrifice to the Lord our God, lest he fall upon us with pestilence and with the sword. Then the king of Egypt said to them, Moses and Aaron, why do you take the people back? Why do you take the people from their work? Get back to your labor. And Pharaoh said, look at the people of the land. They are many now, and you make them rest from their labors. And we see Pharaoh's like, hold on, bro, you costing me money.
That don't even sound right to me.
You slowing down my progress.
How y'all got that kind of time to go for 3 days talking with y'all about the worship in the wilderness? That don't even sound like that makes sense to you, Moses?
Hold on, was Aaron a slave? How this man could leave Egypt, go meet with Moses, like he ain't got stuff to do?
Bro, but then they round up all the elders and run through all of this stuff. Like, I just don't understand the dynamics of the slavery, bro. Like, they was in, bro, like, they had a lot of free time. Like, not even free time. They had the ability to do things.
They had more freedoms than the slavery that we're accustomed to knowing about from the Americas.
Exactly.
I'll just say that.
Yeah, I don't understand the dynamic of this, bro.
And so now we see Pharaoh turned it up a notch. This is one thing he did learn from his ancestors, how to double down.
Oh yeah. And boy, did he.
So the same day Pharaoh commanded his taskmasters of all of the people and their officers, saying, you shall no longer provide the people with straw to make the brick as before. Let them go gather their own straw. And you shall lay on them the quota, and you shall lay on them the quota of bricks which they made before, and you shall not reduce it. For they are idle. Therefore they cry out, saying, let us go sacrifice to our God. Let more work be laid on the man, and they may labor in it. And let not their regards, and let them not regard their false words. Okay, that was the New King James. And then we see in the NIV, he was calling them straight up lazy, saying, guess what, they gone. Let's think about it now. Your job, they were making bricks. We know, like, from when they got put into slavery, they were supposed to like build like 2 new cities or whatever. So now we see like they were really making bricks. And now I can imagine Pharaoh providing the straw and the clay and the furnace to, make the bricks. So now Pharaoh is saying, now, you know what? Let's just say you had an individual quota to make 100 bricks a day. That's when I provide you with the straw. That's when I provide you with the clay. Pharaoh is saying, you know what? Y'all talking about y'all want to go live and sacrifice y'all God? All right. Clearly, y'all got too much time on y'all hands. So now, you know what I'm going to do? I ain't even giving y'all straw anymore. Y'all got to go find y'all own straw. I don't care where you get it from. But guess what? At the end of the day, I still want my 100 bricks.
Yep. And they probably was already working hard for that 100 bricks already. But now you got to turn it up a notch because now you got to. But that's just time, bro. That's just time and energy. You got to get all the straw that you need, and then
you better make sure, and then when you start, the more straw you collect, the further you got to go tomorrow to get more new straw.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. That is crazy. So, bro, this guy, you can see, but like, he didn't even need no hardening of his heart, bro. This guy was just a monster already, bro. Like,
as we say in the Bahamas, Pharaoh wasn't saved.
No, he couldn't have been saved, bro. Pharaoh can kill. From you can take the straw away from the people you can kill, bro. Like straight up, bro. So, but to think about this though, this is your rebuttal to people saying they want religious freedom. You saying, oh no, they lazy. Oh no. And that's a cruel thing you doing, bro. Regardless if they lazy or not, bro, you being very cruel at this point. You taking away their straw for their bricks, and now they gotta make their bricks from scratch, bro. They gotta do all the work for the bricks. You understand? So you turn it up. This was already slave conditions that's been around for probably 40 years. But you turn it up a notch, bro. So they essentially kind of maybe even have to do double the work at this point.
Double, triple. They working hard.
Because they asked to worship God. And so you can see this person, you can see several, bro, straight up, Pharaoh's being used by the devil, bro. Just straight up, bro. You obstructing God's word, you obstructing God's plan. Just straight up. Like I always think, like, whenever people bring up God, that's always like a trump card. Like, you understand? Like, if someone say blah, 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 and they say God told me X, Y, Z, like, even if I don't agree, I deal with that tenderly. You understand? Because I'm like, bro, I don't want to be in opposition of God. You understand? And there's times when God could give you, Earl, a message and don't give me the message. You understand? And you can tell me that and I might still not comprehend it or be ready for it, type of thing. But we see Pharaoh's just like, no. Like, first of all, I don't care if God give you this message or not. See, because Pharaoh ain't say, I believe God give you the message, He say, who's God, bro? You gotta be crazy, bro. Y'all just lazy. Y'all just lazy. Put them to work even more. You understand? And so in verse 9, he said, make the work harder for the people so that they keep working and pay no attention to the lies.
To their lies.
Bro, this guy is sick, bro.
Pharaoh saying, I do not care what you have to say.
Bro,
it is irrelevant to me. Your God is irrelevant to me. His voice is irrelevant to me.
Oh, man.
So Pharaoh's saying, like, who is God? It don't matter.
I don't care.
That's what Pharaoh's saying.
I don't care, bro. Verse 10. Then the slave drivers and the overseers went out and said to the people, this is what Pharaoh says. I will not give you any more straw. Go and get your own straw, wherever you can find it, but your work will not be reduced at all. So the people scattered all over Egypt to gather stubble to use for straw. Oh my. The slave drivers kept pressing them, saying, complete the work required of you for each day, just as when you had straw. And Pharaoh's slave drivers beat the Israelite overseers they had appointed, demanding, why haven't you met your quota of bricks yesterday or today as before? No mercy. Then the Israelite overseers went and appealed to Pharaoh. Why have you treated your servants this way? Your servants are given no straw, yet we are told, make bricks. Your servants are being beaten, but the fault is with your own people. Pharaoh said, lazy. That's what you are, lazy. This is why you keep saying, let us go sacrifice to the Lord. Now get to work. You will not be given any straw, yet you must produce your full quota of bricks. So here we see, here we see the Israelite. They didn't even know it was Pharaoh's doing. Pharaoh put this executive order in place. So they are complaining to Pharaoh about the Egyptian overseers, but they didn't know they barking up the wrong tree. It's me who tell you all of this. So they are complaining, and Pharaoh's like, no, y'all are lazy. You understand what I'm saying? And my thing is, bro, I feel for them because y'all just the overseers. Y'all ain't probably not on the groundwork, but y'all have to manage a lot of things. These people ain't holding their end up of the bargain because there is no holding up your end of this bargain. That's number one. But y'all are being beaten because of them. So that's frustrating. And so the only thing you can do is try to reason with the Pharaoh. So you book a appointment to see the king. You understand? And you lay out everything just for the man to say, no, you lazy. You lazy, bro. I ain't feeling that, bro. So I can understand there's some sadness and some animosity being held towards Moses. You know,
because the thing about it now, like you say, they went to Pharaoh because they was like, hold on, Pharaoh. They said the problems with your own people, they ain't giving us straw no more. You see, they completely left in the box saying they ain't giving us straw no more. They want us to meet the same quota, but it's impossible for us to do this because now you think about it, you already maximize how much you're supposed to do. With straw and clay, then this 100 is a theoretical number. We just use 100 for the sake of simplicity. It's supposed to make 100 bricks. Now, without the straw, you saw me. I go find my own straw. We're taking more time, so I gotta find straw wherever I can find it from. Enough for whatever my quota is to make the same quota. But I still gotta find this, gather this, and bring this back, and then start my process. So let's just say you work an 8-hour day, and this 8 hours, you can get close to the 100. Now you gotta go find this straw. So this straw take 5 hours. You still gotta put in this 8 hours work. So it's almost impossible for you to meet this quota now. But they still expecting you to meet this quota. They say, no, Pharaoh, we want this, we want to make this quota, but it's impossible for us to do. And Pharaoh said, guess what? Y'all lazy. Y'all lazy. Y'all talk about y'all go worship and sacrifice to your God. So you can imagine that the common man, because now we see it in the end of chapter 4, where Moses and Aaron met with the elders. The common layperson, I don't know how much, well, we saw word used to get around, but I don't know how much words get around 40 years later. We saying, bro, I never asked to go in the wilderness to talk about sacrifice to God. Me? I was here busting my hip, bro.
Yeah. What you mean sacrifice? I don't even know where that come from.
I don't know. I just was here working humbly.
What?
And so now we see
19.
The Israelites overseers realized that they were in trouble when they were told, you are not to reduce the number of bricks required for you each day. So they say, oh boy, well, this could be rough. And then we see in verse 20, when they left Pharaoh, they found Moses and Aaron waiting to meet them. And they said, may the Lord look on you and judge you. You have made us obnoxious to Pharaoh and his officials, and have put a sword in their hand to kill us.
Because they saying, bro, you make me look bad, bro. You causing all of this, right? You causing them turn up the heat. And then you have me fighting for our rights. But I didn't even know it was you who caused this. You make us look stupid. You make us look obnoxious. You make us look ungrateful and lazy to Pharaoh. See, and this I want to say Stockholm syndrome because I can't think of the word for it, but this where you don't know basic rights you fighting for, but it making it seem like you asking for a lot. You understand what I say? But this is basic human rights. Don't exhaust us with unreasonable stuff. You know what I mean? Y'all put these in place. Let's say we bring no bricks today. Who cares, bro? No one's gonna die. You understand? This is man-made laws that you guys want to fulfill for us. Pharaoh, I'm talking about. And these guys just fighting for some sustainable work. But then they realize that after they come back from their meeting with Pharaoh, after Pharaoh dissed them, they see the culprits right here. Moses and Aaron. Oh, it's y'all. This Moses guy, last time I see him, he was killing people. You understand? And he gonna run away. He didn't have to be a slave all these times. And he coming back and making demands? What? Make God judge between y'all two. You understand?
And then now we see in verse 22, Moses returned to the Lord and said, why, Lord, have you brought trouble on this people? Is this why you sent me? Ever since I went to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has brought trouble on this people, and you have not rescued your people at all.
Wow.
And so it's a couple of things here. So it's like, yeah, it's still like, to me, it's still like Moses, God's still working even on Moses too. Because again, in our human minds, we expect God to do one thing. So I can imagine Moses' mind, okay, God, you say, throw my rod in this rod there, pull my hand in, turn the water into blood. I'm expecting I do these things. Yeah, you say it's going to take more than just me speaking to him. I'm thinking these signs going to be enough for me to do this to Pharaoh. But now we see Pharaoh just make the people's burden harder. They're looking at me with more disdain, like, God, this why you sent me here to be essentially the bad guy, supposed to be the redeemer. But you're making this harder on me. But I really, like, if God really would talk to Moses, it would have been more like, yo, you just want me to take y'all out of Egypt. I want to do more. I actually want to transform y'all hearts. I want to show y'all the power of God. Because y'all need to get reacquainted to me again. Like, it's been a couple of years before I've done marvelous work. So y'all need to know that I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Exactly. I am. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to know who I am. Just simply saying I am who I am isn't going to be enough for you guys, because you guys don't know who I am to begin with. So I need to let me reintroduce myself to you as God.
Y'all got to experience me.
You know what I'm saying? I need to do this. So it's going to be it's a growing journey that God is about to take them on.
Most definitely, but you know, God ended up replying to Moses in chapter 6.
Yep.
Then the Lord said to Moses, "Now you will see what I will do to Pharaoh. Because of my mighty hand, he will let them go. Because of my mighty hand, he will drive them out of his country." Because here's the thing. If Moses had just say, let's go, let my people go, and he was like, all right, cool. People would have been thanking Pharaoh, like, Pharaoh, bro, you was a good man for letting us go, X, Y, Z. But you got to understand, it ain't Pharaoh doing this, it's God who doing this. You understand what I'm saying?
I even think vice versa too. Even if Pharaoh did that, they'd have been like, oh yeah, thank you, Moses, for coming here and rescuing us. So it's like God said, okay, I need to do this in such a way, like I said, let me introduce myself, that you guys can have no other, you can't give no one else the credit for this. And then when you guys come out of Egypt, you guys need to know that I, your God, am the one who delivered you out of the hand of your oppressors.
Exactly. And that's what we see at play. Verse 2. God also said to Moses, I am the Lord. I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob as God Almighty.
Almighty.
But by my name, the Lord, I did not make myself fully known to them.
Mercy.
I also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, where they resided as foreigners. Moreover, I have heard the groaning of the Israelites, whom the Egyptians are enslaving, and I have remembered my covenant. Therefore say to the Israelites, I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the yoke of the Egyptians. I will free you from being slaves to them, and I will redeem you with an outstretched arm and with mighty acts of judgment. I will take you as my own people, and I will be your God. Then you will know that I am the Lord your God, who brought you out from under the yoke of the Egyptians, and I will bring you to the land I swore with uplifted hand to give to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. I will give it to you as a possession. I am the Lord. Moses reported this to the Israelites, but they did not listen to him because of their discouragement of harsh labor. Oh my. Then the Lord said to Moses, go, tell Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to let the Israelites go out of his country. But Moses said to the Lord, if the Israelites will not listen to me, why would Pharaoh listen to me, since I speak with faltering lips?
So now, I mean, even going back, like back up to verse 6, like going back, like, who am I? I am the Lord, the God. I am the one who will bring you out of the yoke, from under the Egyptians. I am the one who will free you from being the slaves. I am the one who will redeem you with an outstretched arm, with mighty acts of judgment. I am the one who will take you as my own people. I am the one who will be your God. Then you will know that I am the Lord your God. I am the one who brought you from under the yoke of the Egyptians, and I am the one who will bring you to the land that I swore that I will uplift with the uplifted hand to give to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You guys want to know who I am? I am the Lord.
I am all of those things. And I think right now, bro, we could kind of see where Moses is getting even more uncomfortable. Like this isn't a pleasurable thing for him, you know. So I already didn't want to do this for whatever reasons. You understand what I'm saying? I know this is a big task and it's gonna be hard, bro. Like it's gonna be too hard for me essentially. But now I come to Pharaoh and Pharaoh just turned everything upside down. So now Pharaoh is mad at me and my people are mad at me. Nobody's happy to see me. I'm like the bearer of bad news essentially, you know. And now God goes and tells him everything he's about to do. And God break it down there, bro. Like, yeah, we know. See, this, we got Pharaoh right where we want him. For now, my goodness to be revealed. Moses goes and tells that to his people. And they're not feeling that. You understand? So I could feel tension with Moses. And that's why Moses going back to God. And he's like, bro. He's like, not bro. He's like, if the Israelites will not listen to me, why would Pharaoh listen to me? Since I speak with faltering lips. This him talking about his speech again. You understand what I'm saying? So now he kind of leaning back towards the excuses from chapter 4, you know, or maybe chapter 3, or chapter 5, I can't remember, but just the excuses that he previously uttered to God. And yeah, so I basically saying like you can see where this don't feel like this. Like to Moses, this don't feel like this is going as planned, you know? Like it seems more rocky, but definitely God has a plan up his sleeve, you know? And this way I just take a lot of faith and take just holding on for the ride for you to understand what God about to do and how he about to do it. Because what you thinking is completely different. You thinking it was just gonna be there and sweet, you know? But it wasn't sweet. And it getting less sweet, getting more sour as the days go by.
Boy.
But you won't understand, it gotta get, in this scenario, it's going to get more dark before we see dawn type of situation, you know? So now verse 13, we take a shift.
Yeah, we get into some genealogies from 13 to 25. So we really get into the record of Moses and Aaron. But we could go through it.
Yep. Now the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron about the Israelites and Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And he ain't say Pharaoh name yet. We don't know who these pharaohs is.
Nope.
But we about to go through all type of names now. But anyway, and he commanded them to bring the Israelites out of Egypt. These were the heads of their families. The son of Reuben, the firstborn son of Israel, were Hanok and Palu, Hezron, and Carmi. These were the clans of Reuben. The sons of Simeon were Jemuel, Jamin, Ohad, Jachin, Zohar, and Shoal, the son of a Canaanite woman. These were the clans of Simeon. These were the names of the sons of Levi according to their records: Gershon, Kohath, Merari. Levi lived 137 years. The sons of Gershon by clans were Libni and Shimei. The sons of Kohath were Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel. Kohath lived 133 years. The sons of Merari were Malai and Mushai. These were the clans of Levi according to their records. Amram married his father's sister, Jochebed, who bore him Moses and Aaron. Amram lived 137 years. The sons of Izhar were Korah, Napheg, Zikri. The sons of Uzziel were Mishael, Elzaphan, Sithri. Yep. Aaron married Elisheba, I think, I don't know. Daughter of Aminadab and sister of Nahshon, and she bore him Nadab and Abihu.
Abihu.
Yep.
Boy, damn. Anyway, continue.
Eleazar and Ithmar. The sons of Korah were Asir, Elkanah, and Abiasaph. These were the Korite clans. Eleazar, son of Aaron, married one of the daughters of Pultiel, and she bore him Phinehas.
Who becomes important later down in the line when we get to the promised land. Some of that clan. Anyway, keep going.
Sweet. These were the clans of the Levite families, clan by clan. It was this Aaron and Moses to whom the Lord said, "Bring the Israelites out of Egypt by their divisions." They were the ones who spoke to Pharaoh, king of Egypt, about bringing the Israelites out of Egypt. This same Moses and Aaron, just for the record. Then Aaron speaks to Moses again. Aaron to speak for Moses. I'm sorry. Verse 28. Now when the Lord spoke to Moses in Egypt, he said to him, I am the Lord. Tell Pharaoh, king of Egypt, everything I tell you. But Moses said to the Lord, since I speak with faltering lips, why would Pharaoh listen to me? I wonder if that's the same instance or if this is another instance, bro. Because this going on the third time my boy mentioned, and he's making it very clear that my lips ain't it. You understand what I'm saying?
And then, so now in chapter 7, the Lord said to Moses, see, I have made you like God to Pharaoh, and your brother Aaron will be your prophet. You are to say everything I command you, and your brother Aaron is to tell it to Pharaoh to let the Israelites go out of his country. But I will harden Pharaoh's heart. And though I multiply my signs and wonders in Egypt, he will not listen to you. Then I will lay my hand on Egypt, and with the mighty axe of judgment, I will bring out my divisions, my people, the Israelites. And the Egyptians will know that I am the Lord when I stretch out my hand against Egypt and bring the Israelites out of it. Moses and Aaron did just as the Lord commanded them. Moses was 80 years old, and Aaron was 83 when they spoke to Pharaoh, which makes sense because when he left Egypt, he was 40, and he spent 40 years in Midian. So Moses was 80.
Oh, so to that point, he was pretty half and half, like 40 in Midian, 40 in Egypt. Now he back in Egypt. 43. Got you.
Oh, so Moses, I'm just going to do this last part. Then next episode, we can just kick off with the plagues. But so now in 7 verse 8, then the Lord said to Moses and Aaron, when Pharaoh says to you, perform a miracle, then say to Aaron, take your staff and throw it on the ground before Pharaoh, and it will become a snake. So Moses and Aaron went to Pharaoh and did just as the Lord commanded them. Aaron threw his staff in front of Pharaoh and his officials, and it became a snake. Pharaoh was like, oh, okay, that, please. So when Pharaoh then summoned his wise men and sorcerers, and the Egyptian magicians also did the same thing by their secret arts. Each one of them threw his staff, and it became a snake. But Aaron's staff swallowed up all their staffs.
So, bro, first of all, I always thought it was Moses' staff that did this. But Aaron threw down the staff. You understand what I'm saying? But, bro, that is...
That's them cartoons, they mess it up for us.
Yeah. One of the most mind-blowing things to me, though, bro. How did these magicians recreate that, bro? That's what tripped me out so bad.
But that's because it's just magic. It's all a visual illusion. That's really what it is. Because that's why, and that's why you see the Bible says, like, did we say it? But Aaron's staff swallowed up all of their own. Because, and see, this is what people got to understand. This is ancient Egypt where there was a lot of magic. There was a lot of sorcery. There was a lot of dark crafts of the art. So it come like Pharaoh was like, oh. And that's why God wanted to differentiate himself. Pharaoh was like, oh, you could do that? I'm not fazed by that. Hey, 3 of y'all, come here. He just did that. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, we can recreate that too. And that's why people, like, that's what I say, the devil has power too.
Yeah, that's my thing. That's what I was saying. Because I wasn't thinking that this was a visual illusion, but I thinking this was dark magic type of thing.
It's like, dark magic, but
yeah,
at the same time, it's like, but God has the ultimate power.
Oh, bro, for sure. But I'm saying, bro, it's just crazy the lengths these people could have gone to too. Because, like, bro, God's power, that's already amazing. But these guys was able to make a carbon copy. Of course, it's obviously not as good as the first one because that snake just ate on 3 of the snakes. You understand? And how embarrassing that is. You put down your snake and then my snake eat on 3 of your snakes, bro. You know what I mean? But that still didn't faze Pharaoh. You know?
And it's just, I mean, that's why people, put it this way. This is why certain things you ingest through your eye gate and your ear gate, you really got to be conscious of. Because there's a lot of dark stuff out there that can lead people astray.
Oh, yeah.
Because these things are real. I mean, just Pharaoh called out some magicians. They did the same thing that God just instructed Aaron and Moses to do.
Right, that was because, like, bro, even I remember my mom told me the story as a kid. You know what I mean? And like, she telling the story and then building up to the point where, like, I just waiting for him to throw down the snake. You see what I'm saying? And she was like, yeah, he threw down the snake, and then three wise men threw down snakes, threw down the staff too, and it turned into snakes too. And I'm like, what? I thought that was gonna be the big smoking gun. Like, I thought that was gonna be the big thing that was like, oh, like make Pharaoh feel like, oh, this guy mean business. But they end up making that. Wait, let me get to a bigger point, bro. The devil, bro, is recreate a lot of stuff that God make. And it always be a cheap imitation. You understand what I'm saying? But a lot of times people is finding out this is the first thing they see. They ain't see God version of it. You understand? They only see the remix. You understand what I'm saying? So they end up formulating that. This the thing. This the actual thing. So then when they find the truth, they're like, that can't be it. Like sometimes, bro, some stuff like literally is wrong, bro. Like, and it's documented that, oh yeah, this only like this because we wanted it to be like this. But then some people said, oh, that's just, I grew up doing this anyway. You understand? Or this is a tradition, like, and I just like, bro, what? Like, bro, even when Jesus say, don't call nobody like reverend or call nobody father because like you got a father in heaven. Then you see in certain Christian churches, people call you father and reverend and things like that. Like, and they're like, bro, the guy literally say, don't do this, bro. Like, what you understand? But just the way how people flip it, they take it and the devil remix and say, yeah, let's just call everyone that. You know what I mean? Let's do that. And like, bro, it's just so crazy, dog, because, but like, you know, this thing is a wonderful sight. Like this thing is a remarkable thing. But the devil's saying, bro, all right, I don't have to think about what is gonna get people on their toes. I already see what God is do to get people on their toes, and let me just do my version of that. And he's come aggressively with his version. You understand what I'm saying? But at the end of the day,
yeah, keep going. This just reminded me of a verse. I gotta see if I could find it.
Not
to kill your thought.
Yeah, no, I got it. But at the end of the day, who is more powerful? You understand? Like greater is he that is within me than he that is within the world. So greater is my snake than these three magician snake. You understand what I'm saying? Because like off of sheer numbers, Aaron, no, it wasn't his power that make the snake. So when he threw down the staff, he see a snake, and these guys throw it down too. That might have scared me. That might have been like, hold on now. These guys, what? They can do the same thing as me. So wow. Like that could also like put a damper on your faith type of situation. But then God turn around and say, all right, I can show y'all whose snake is superior at this point. Your little fake snake, it looked good, but could it stand up against mine? You understand what I'm saying? And I don't know if you're ready for the text.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a couple texts. It was like, we know like how in Jesus was talking about how in the last days the very elect may even be deceiving you. Like how? Because they're going to be miracles and signs happening in those times, but just because something is miraculous or it seems so supernatural doesn't mean it's indeed true. And in Thessalonians, I mean, it's kind of what I was thinking about, but in 2 Thessalonians 2, 9, and 10, the coming of the lawless one is according to the working of Satan, with all the power, signs, and lying wonders, with all unrighteousness, deception among those who perish, because they did not receive the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And this is all just showing that these unnatural signs and wonders is also a part of Satan's arsenal too, because here's the thing, I can deceive you, because a lot of people don't know what they're looking for. You know what I'm saying? So now you see that like it just kind of plays into what you were saying. That's kind of reminded me of this text. So like, you see this thing and you're like, oh, you're seeing the remix before you see the original. So now you're saying, oh, but this original doesn't even seem as good as the remix, but you don't even know what the real is really offering. But like, just knowing that Satan can do these things, like it says in the Bible, like he's coming with all this power, the signs and the lying wonders. And he didn't say like he coming with like no false sharpness. No, he's coming with these things that are going to deceive you in all of its false glory, because it's going to seem miraculous and it's going to seem glorious, but it's still going to be false.
And bro, and that's the thing, right? That's why it's important to open this book and to read this book, bro. Like, I ain't telling people, boy, you gotta learn you gotta memorize. No, bro. Know what's in this book. You understand? And this is a journey that I'm on, and like it's like working out, bro. I ain't gonna lie, dog. It's just as painful as working out because you don't be on that run every day. No pun intended, because working out. I just do it so normal. Just don't mind me. Forget
keep
that.
going.
But anyway, bro, Matthew 22, and you just quote this, but I about Matthew 24, but I about to read the whole thing. So, this talking about the last days, right? This 24 verse 21. For then there will be great distress, unequal from the beginning of the world until now, and never to be equal again. Verse 22. If those days had not been cut short, no one would survive. But for the sake of the elect, those days will be shortened. Amen. Verse 23. At that time, if anyone says to you, look, here is the Messiah, or there he is, do not believe it. For false messiahs and false prophets will appear and perform great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. See, I have told you ahead of time. So, boy, and it's funny because, like, in this day and age, people don't fact check. That's just a fact, bro. I've seen parody articles and I've read it and I'm like, oh, this is funny. This is a parody. And then I've spoken to people and they've cited from this parody article. And I have to explain to them, bro, this is not a credible source. But then some people just don't read enough to understand the difference between credible and a non-credible. They're like, oh, well, if this isn't a credible source, how we know that's a credible source? X, Y, Z. You understand? So they feel like everything on the internet is true. Some people seriously believe that, right? But we have where God is now coming and telling us ahead of time, bro. If you didn't know, you can't believe everything you see. Like, not even on the internet, period. You can see somebody commit signs and wonders right now, but that don't mean this is true. And I'm warning you now, bro. There are going to be great signs, great wonders from false prophets, false messiahs. There are going to be people saying this is the Messiah, but it is false. And if it is possible, they will deceive the very elect. They will deceive the scholars, if possible. They will deceive the people who are well versed in this world, if possible, who are very smart and who are very in tune with the signs of God, if possible. You understand what I'm saying? So, like, and that's the thing. So Pharaoh, from his perspective, he probably looking at this and saying, who is God, bro? What is God? You telling me this God is so powerful, yet he ain't do nothing what I can't do, what my people can't do. You understand what I'm saying? And this the type of thing with this empower pagans or people who are full of perverse, like, religious practices. You know, that all the things that we see and we recognize God for his glory for, the devil use it. He do a fake version of it or one that's more palatable for you. And you say, oh, that's the right thing. You understand what I'm saying? Bro, when you read these other religions, bro, sometimes where they depiction of the same things in the Bible, it's so different. They get some key points, but then it take a laugh. Like, oh, Jesus wasn't God. He just was a prophet. He was a good guy, you know, but he was a prophet. Why y'all worshiping him? I can say the same thing, but the guy you calling, you understand what I'm saying? Like, bro, like the devil really just take a lot of things and just put his own little twist on it. You know what I mean? So, but we finished off with the snake thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, like, yeah. So straight up, like, at the end of the day, as Christians, it's important to know what's in the book. It's important to know what to look for. And it's important to try to stay connected to God at all times. We see where Adam and Eve, where Eve was deceived. But had Eve gotten a second opinion, she would not have been deceived. So sometimes, like, just because somebody coming to you with this doctrine, you can't just take it and run with it. Always fact check. Even things you see in the Bible, fact check. Always look for another opinion. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, read the Hebrew. Read the Greek if you got time. You understand? Read the King James version. Get as a holistic understanding as possible. It's also important you need to look at sometimes the historical context or what's going on at the time for things to make more sense. You understand? But like even how we see the sorcerers were able to just recreate and to pervert the thing that God used as a sign, the devil is easily able to do that. And he can and he will do that. It seems like Moses and Aaron both of their work cut out for them. Because not only did Pharaoh refuse the Lord's request, he also increased the slaves' labor. It's clear that Pharaoh doesn't respect or know the Most High God. But let's just say he's about to get fully acquainted. But we'll talk more about Pharaoh, Moses, and the plagues on the next episode of A Breath of Fresh Air. Tonight's episode included voice acting by your hosts, Earl Roberts and Nakhaz. remember to go ahead and research on your own in order to get a more firm understanding of tonight's episode. And if you enjoyed it, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. You can follow us on social media at Abreathoffreshairpod on Instagram and BOFAPOD on Twitter. Thanks everyone, and we'll see you next week.